Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and this is the news with Pete and Alex. How you doing, Mr. Pete?
Hello.
Good thing I didn't catch you picking your nose, huh?
I'm always
We're going to
prepared.
be. Yeah, right. Hello, Karma. We're going to be opening this news hour here with the address from the president whenever he gets to it. So when that time comes, Pete and I will drop our cameras and we'll be the ghost voices in the background while the president speaks his little piece. And we're just waiting for that, but he's never on time, so we're going to just wait and see. Alert didn't go out for the show and nothing from D Live also. Wow. Yeah, they're hostile.
We're live
Chrysler
on D
Imperial, how you
Live.
doing? DM, welcome. Margot, I am live
Yep, on D Live.
on D Live. Okay. Inkfish, Blue Lou, Jeff, Jello, Jeff. I know Michael's in here. Well, let's see here. Grateful Grandma, how you doing? How you doing? Wolf Stonehenge, good to see y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, really, how you doing? You guys over there, you gotta be doing all right, right? All right, so I'm kind of hesitant to jump into a news topic at this particular moment because we're waiting for Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump. Gun loving grandpa, welcome. John Boy, good to see you. Luciano, welcome, welcome. I was obviously listening to your show because I'm an eavesdropper that way, and I kind of like that, hiding in the background and
lurking,
eavesdropping. Luciano, how you doing? Lurking, that's the one. People's last stand. Yes, it is. How you doing? Yeah, something fishy is definitely going on. Too much for too little is what I like to call it. We are there's a lot going on for a very little bit of a threat at this point. Mr. Dingleberry, welcome.
Like I said, the coincidences.
I agree with you every way.
They're way too
coincidental.
I mean, that's basically the only thing I can say.
Yes. Yeah, it just seems like an awful lot of effort going into something that supposedly is so benign. They keep emphasizing that it's not the fluid, it's not as dangerous, and not as deadly. But then they're closing down the whole planet for it, and they're moving military, National Guard into place. They're doing all these things. They're getting the kids out of schools, sending them home. Putting everybody in their houses. So, cutting down on the gatherings, stopping elections and primaries and all this stuff for something that isn't even supposed to be as bad as the flu. We've heard that constantly. We've heard that. Old Broad, how you doing? A big co-winky dink. Absolutely, positively. But I think you hit it on all the points, though. Just everybody's got to stay vigilant, get your toilet paper, and be ready for whatever comes.
And the Twinkies. Don't forget the Twinkies.
Absolutely. Believe it or not, I keep saying Twinkies, and I have yet to buy myself a box of Twinkies. I have the ding dongs, but I don't have any Twinkies.
Oh, I went out and got Twinkies.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah. And I don't even like Twinkies.
John Boy, I think you're right. Well, I appreciate your sacrifice because anybody that's willing to take one for the team and pop back some Twinkies is in good favor with me.
Yeah.
Chicken Little, yes. Sky is falling. But why is the sky falling? Why are we going to these extremes? Watchful Warrior, how you doing? Now I want a Twinkie. You know what? I do too. Anyway, so yeah, we're just sitting here waiting. The show might go a little touch long just because we're waiting on the president, because I do have some good stories of what's going on to bring up. I wanted my Fig Newtons. Well, that's good too. As long as you have a bag of snacks, 20 ounces of water, and 37 cases of toilet paper, you are ready for the end of the world.
Yeah. Now in between shows, in between my show and this show, I just talked to my son. And he said that he couldn't find diapers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In Buffalo?
In Buffalo.
Okay, Buffalo. My wife says that they're out of diapers and wipes.
At BJ's.
At BJ's, okay. Yeah, DM, I'm sorry. There is an echo.
Yes.
In order for me to play the screen share, I have to have my surround sound speakers on. And as soon as I get done with the president's speech, then I promise I'll turn off those speakers. CDM is echoing. She said it 3 times.
Echo, echo, echo.
I'll tell you what. So right now, while we're waiting for the president to come up, then I'm going to go ahead and have the surround sound off. But just don't let me forget to turn the damn thing on, because he'll be sitting there behind his desk yapping, and everybody be like, "There's no sound." So I have to.
Oh no, he's going to be out in the Rose Garden.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Rose Garden. I can see the podium already, all nice and purty.
Right. Infant and adult diapers. No kidding. Costco here in Ottawa region was empty. I didn't empty what? Ottawa was empty yesterday. Okay. Yeah, it's getting bad out here, but people should have started preparing for whatever a long time ago. Stores here look like a hurricane panic buyer hit.
How often have we said that, Alex? How often in all the shows that we've done together for the last month and a half, 2 months, have we said that if something does happen here, don't panic, just be prepared. Just be prepared. Just be prepared.
Right.
So apparently there's not a lot of people who are watching our show. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get the word out with the oppression and suppression. So Celia's a wannabe. Okay, I got you. Hey, how you doing? Got to use the phonics. Mm-hmm. All right, so you're waiting on the president's speech over your shoulder, right?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Okay, so if I go off the screen, you'll just yell at me when he's on, and I'll go ahead and I'll hit. I got. Anyway, I'm going to open up with some Florida news. I hope you have some California news so we can start there and meet in the middle. But
not really. But I got some good stories.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll take good stories either way. But you know how the big talk right now is the whole woman for a vice president. Well, apparently somebody has decided that a woman for president should come from Florida. At least that's what they're suggesting. A woman about U.S. Rep. Val Demings of Florida. Absolutely no, thank you. But I'll read the story anyway.
No.
Speculation about Democrat Party's vice presidential nominee is heating up, and Florida lawmaker is at the center of the national conversation. After only 2 terms in federal office, U.S. Rep. Val Demings is among those who are being mentioned as possible running mates for former Vice President Joe Biden in the front runner of the race for his party and presidential nod. Yeah, that's so laughable, but I mean, I'm going to try to keep going without laughing. Demings, an Orlando Demon Rat shot into the national scene last fall when she played a key role in the U.S. House impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump as a member of both the House Judiciary Intelligence panels. Her star rose higher in January when she was selected as one of 7 managers of the Senate impeachment trial. Obviously, she's a waste. Now she's in the center of discussions about how her party can diversify a ticket with an older white man amongst almost certain to be its top. You know, the older white rich man that the Democrats hate so much ends up being at the top of their ticket. But just saying. Val would be on the list you have to look at as top-level Democrat woman of color. Why can't it just be woman? Why's it got to be of color? Why can't it just be an American? Why's it got to be an African American? Anyway, that's enough of my rant. Said Keith Fitzgerald, a professor of political science at the New College of Florida. Demings, who endorsed Biden last week, told the Phoenix she is honored to be mentioned and said she backs calls for women of color in the role of vice president. We often hear that black women are the backbone of the Democrat Party, she said in a phone interview. I think that the diversity we celebrate should be reflected in the ticket at the top of the ballot. All right. The backbone of the Democrat Party. I know that these people are not that stupid to really think that black people are the backbone of a party that fought to keep slavery, that fought to stop women from voting, and fight to kill babies on a regular basis. Tell me I'm thinking weird.
This is what I've been saying the whole time, is they're walking away from the Democrat Party in droves because of this, and they're still using it. They're still using it as an excuse. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Michael Adrian, right there in the chat, says people don't know their history. Sad. Absolutely right. But what's happening is that they're waking up to their history and knowing that they've been lied to this whole time. Hence all the distraction we're having. And Val Demings is a waste.
Yeah, even in Florida, she's useless. She just yaps a lot. That's her claim to fame. She just gets her voice out there a lot. Hasn't done anything.
No, she hasn't.
Well, Florida. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. But the other thing going on in Florida is that the legislator passed a weakened E-Verify bill. Immigration groups are critical. Lawmakers have 7 scaled back E-Verify bill sent a scaled back E-Verify bill to Governor Ron DeSantis that will give Florida businesses the opportunity using the federal system to verify immigration status of their workers. And you know this, I don't need to go much further than that. Just to mention that we need E-Verify because we need American workers. And if you're not American and you're not on a work visa, you're not on a temporary seasonal visa, then we shouldn't have to compete with you for the jobs that exist in this country. And it frustrates me the Florida legislator is still ground pounding for illegal immigration and sends a weakened bill to DeSantis to sign for some attempt at E-Verify.
Yeah.
Does California even consider something like that?
No. They don't care. Obviously, here. They don't care who you are, where you come from. If you have a driver's license or a social security card, none of that matters, because California is so progressive that it just doesn't matter to them. And then when something happens with one of these people, they just blame it on the government. They never
Right.
blame themselves. They just blame it on the government. So it doesn't matter
Trump
here.
did it.
Yeah, it was Trump's fault.
Oh,
like
Trumpus.
the entire government didn't exist before Donald Trump became president 3.5 years ago.
You mean it did?
Apparently not, because everything back to the Civil War is his fault. I mean, it's almost to the point of
Makes sense.
Panic on these people's part. And I lied. I do have a story out of California. I do have one story out of California. So whenever you're ready.
I'm waiting. Go for it.
All right.
Hit me.
Asian Americans facing racism over virus fears are buying guns in droves. They worry about a riot, or maybe that people will start to target the Chinese. An ABC News report details that many ways. Yeah, well, exactly. Details in many ways that the virus pandemic is negatively affecting Asian Americans, and how many are turning to their Second Amendment rights to defend themselves. The report details several instances of Asian Americans facing discrimination and outright racism from people citing. I'm still looking at the TV to make sure I can tell you when he's going on. Citing the spread of the virus,
while you're reading,
which originated in Wuhan, China. In one example, an Asian American man was accosted on a New York subway and sprayed with Febreze when he wouldn't respond to the man's racist taunts about the virus. In another instance, a woman in California says somebody wrote racist anti-Asian slurs on her car. The less contentious expression of
something it's something to spike the fear. It's something to create more division. This is all planned. They want a riot in the streets. They have to have it because their big event is failing. It's not getting the oomph that they wanted it to.
Yeah.
So they've got to expand on it now.
That's what this story actually says. They are worried about a riot, or maybe that people will start to target Chinese people. This is their event. Yeah. You're absolutely right. But in the video that you put out yesterday, which everybody should go watch, they're squeezing the soap way too hard on this one, because I think they went a little early. They dropped a hammer a little bit early, and it's going to fizzle out. So you are absolutely right in that video, which everybody should go watch, by the way. And somebody should put the link to that so everybody can watch it. But you were absolutely right. So
just to make a note, I am over here on D Live.
Yes, you are.
I've got my link covered up right now. I've got a server on Discord now. All of my links are in my description below, so you can get to anywhere that I'm going to be. I'm just trying to broaden my horizons a little bit, because I know that it's just a matter of time. I've been watching channels getting demonetized left and right. Now I'm watching channels getting dropped with no warning. So the purge is happening. It's been warned and are forewarned, and you guys need to be ready to catch up with me somewhere else if they decide they're done with me on here. And same thing with Pete. You need to be getting all of our links. You need to get them. Follow us on D Live. Look us up on Bitchute. Do everything that you got to do so that we don't disappear completely when they come for us.
Exactly. And why can't this president be punctual?
Fashionably late.
Why can't he be punctual?
Well, I can understand that going to a foreign nation, because you never want anybody to know your schedule that when you're outside of your protection zone. But when it comes to stuff within the White House, it seems like they would be a little bit closer.
You think? You would think so.
Yeah, Guns and Gadgets got demonetized. Another one that I listened to, can't think of his off the top of my head, but he was demonetized. Another guy that talks about Second Amendment stuff and gun parts. They're going after them first, but then they're going to go after the rest of us conservatives. Anybody that has any thought
that's happening right now. That's happening right now to me as we speak. When you click on my video or my live stream, there's an ad in the front of it because I have to turn on the monetization. It doesn't automatically monetize it. You have to turn it on. And then as soon as I finish my stream, it automatically is demonetized. So the 120 views that I get,
insane.
Yeah, that I get are monetized, which 120 views is nothing. I'm completely funded by you guys. You guys completely fund me because Google is not doing anything for me. Zero. So it's not just happening to the gun channels, it's already happening to us.
Hillbilly John Boy just dropped an ice cream on me. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, he is. He put in this chat over here. He's watching you on D Live and then blasted you with an ice cream over on D Live.
Yeah, I thought I felt something cold and mushy.
And then somebody put that picture of Greta, which I just oh, that was Propus.
Yeah.
That was Propus over there.
All right, we're getting some motion here on the president's thing. Maybe not. It was just a buffer. Got too excited.
Now here, I'm instead of getting into another news story because it could be any minute now. This whole thing, or not, but this whole thing about declaring a national emergency bothers me because now FEMA can be unleashed.
Right.
And what did FEMA do?
Yeah.
What did FEMA do when they declared a national emergency during Katrina? I don't like it.
Let me see if I can guess. Oh, they took the guns.
I don't like it one bit. I don't like it one bit. And I don't know if the president knows what he's doing here. Because this is not
a lot of
right now.
It
is not a national emergency.
Well, this isn't, but there's something else going on in the background that is. Again, and going back to what you said, something fishy is going on.
Definitely. Unless he knows something.
Here's the thing. Well, I'm sure he knows more than we do because they treat us like children and don't tell us anything. Oh, we're just doing this for your protection.
You know what? Let me protect myself.
Yeah, I think I can handle it. I've been doing that for a long time. I took martial arts. I practiced with my weapons. I've done all that. I think I'm okay.
Have you seen my assault highlighter?
I have. That thing scared the bejesus out of me, man. I almost had to duck under the cushions of my couch when you whipped that thing out.
I'm well protected.
You got to be careful with stuff like that.
This is for serious shows.
Good Lord.
I mean,
you can put an eye out with that.
I get triggered with the little one. I'm telling you.
It's like a BB gun versus dynamite.
That's right.
God bless America. How you doing? All right. Well, look here. I got something pulled up that just for the sake of interest, since we're waiting on Mr. President here, the national emergency, and it just went black on me. It just did that to me.
I hate when that happens.
Just a second. I'll be back with you in just a moment. I know it. I mean, it just all of a sudden goes poof. All right. National Emergencies Act. The NEA published L 94-412. Enacted September 14th, 1976, confided at 50 USC 1601 through 1651, is a United States federal law passed to end all previous national emergencies and to formalize the emergency powers of the president. The act empowers the president to activate special powers during crisis, but imposes certain procedural formalities when invoking such powers. The perceived need for the law arose from the scope of number of laws granting special powers to the existing executive in times of national emergency. Congress can terminate an emergency declaration with a joint resolution signed into law. Powers available under this act are limited to 130 emergency powers Congress has defined. The legislation was signed by President Gerald Ford in September 1476. As of February 2019, 59 national emergencies have been declared, more than 30 of which remain in effect. So that's what I wanted to make an emphasis on. There are 30 national emergencies that have never been dismissed.
That's right.
We are adding another one.
And guess what? They're still funding those national emergencies.
Right. That's the omnibus spending bills. And
all the things that are attached to them.
In Turkish.
All the things that are attached to those national emergencies are being funded.
Plus all the pork chops that they put into bills and stuff. So yeah. Thank you, DM. Kevin Morfan, how you doing? Welcome. Don't count upon indictments as not happened and probably won't. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a reason there's 152,000 sealed indictments. Nobody knows what that reason is, but it is unprecedented. But at this point, it seems like a collection, like somebody might collect bells or coins. They're just collecting them. But at some point, something's got to be done with them. Normally, in any given year, we might have 1,000 federal indictments. So 152,000 is substantial in anybody's mind.
And the majority of them are in California, New York, and Texas. To answer his question a little bit earlier, California has a ton of indictments that are sealed indictments.
Oh, yeah.
And most of them are probably for trafficking. And I don't want to mention what they're trafficking, but
we're, for love of God, we're trying to keep our stream flowing here.
Yeah. But for what happened
we mentioned Wednesday night.
For what happened with Weinstein,
the hell out of you.
you know, there's a lot of people having a lot of problems right now. And I don't think that.
Yeah, is there any pool right now on how long he might live?
No, I haven't heard anything yet. But there was something very curious that happened just this morning. Joy Behar said that she's not going to be on The View anymore because she is at risk. What the hell does that mean?
Well, we've got Tom Hanks that all of a sudden came down with it. What we're going to have to watch for here is all these people that have been brought to the forefront in the past for misdoings. All of them are going to start coming down with the sniffles, and then they're going to have to be put in their quarantine, hidden away from society.
How long before Oprah gets the sniffles?
Some of this stuff.
How long before Oprah gets the sniffles?
Yeah, well, that's interesting one. Several names can be on each. Yeah, there can be 100 people on one indictment.
That's right.
So yeah, it's not just one for one usually. So
President Trump is live.
But yeah,
I'm watching it right now. Invader Zim, and Fox News is still on
right now.
So I don't know if he's
All right,
live.
well, let me go ahead and kill your camera for a second. Let me bring it up and we'll see if we can get it cranked up. Probably can still hear us, but not see us. Here he comes. Now you guys will have to let me know if the audio is working. Now I can't hear him. Why can't I hear him? Can you guys hear him? Can you hear him, Pete? No. Can you hear him now? Can you hear him now? Your audio's on, Pete. Why can't we hear him? How about now? No. No hearing.
There you go.
Any of the families returning from Europe will be subject to extra screening as well as self-isolation for a period of 14 days. As the World Health Organization confirmed today, many of the things that what we said were
You can hear it now.
100% correct, including our designation before them of Europe. Like our earlier very aggressive actions with China, this measure also is keeping its lives. I said early designation. But
What did it do?
beginning of what we're really doing, and now we're
I'm playing the
in a
sound.
different phase. We had some very old and obsolete rules that we had to live with. It worked under certain circumstances, but not under mass circumstances. They were there for a long time. They were in place for a long time, and we're breaking them down now. And they're very usable for certain instances, but not for this. To unleash the full power of the federal government through this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words. The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order emerging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately. You're going to be hearing from some of the largest companies and greatest retailers and medical companies in the world. They're standing right behind me and inside of me. I'm also asking every country to activate its emergency preparedness plan so that they can meet the needs of Americans everywhere. The hospitals are very engaged. New York and various other places are also very engaged. I just spoke with Governor Cuomo. We had a very good conversation, and we're working very strongly with many states, including New York. The emergency orders I'm issuing today will also confer broad new authority to the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The Secretary of HHS will be able to immediately waive provisions of applicable laws and regulations to give doctors, all hospitals, and healthcare providers maximum flexibility to respond to the virus and care for patients. This includes the following critical authorities: the ability to waive laws to enable telehealth, a fairly new and incredible thing that's happened in the not so distant past, I tell you, what they've done with telehealth is incredible. It gives remote doctors visits and hospital check-ins, the power to waive certain federal license requirements so that doctors from other states can provide services in states with the greatest need. Number two, the ability to waive requirements that critical access hospitals limit the number of beds to 25 and the length of stay to 96 hours. The ability to waive the requirements of a 3-day hospital stay prior to admission to a nursing home, big thing. The authority to waive rules to hinder hospitals' ability to bring additional physicians on board or obtain needed office space. They can do as they want. They can do what they have to do. They know what they have to do. Now they don't have any problem getting it done. The authority to waive rules that severely restrict where hospitals can care for patients within the hospital itself, ensuring that the emergency capacity can be quickly established. Will remove or eliminate every obstacle necessary to deliver our people the care that they need and that they're entitled to. No resource will be spared, nothing whatsoever. 10 days ago, I brought together the CEOs of commercial labs at the White House and directed them to immediately begin working on a solution to dramatically increase the availability of tests. Other countries have called us and worked with us, and they're doing similar things or will be doing similar things. As a result of that action today, we're announcing a new partnership with private sector to vastly increase and accelerate our capacity to test for the coronavirus. We want to make sure that those who need a test can get a test very safely, quickly, and conveniently. But we don't want people to take a test if we feel that they shouldn't be doing it. And we don't want everyone running out and taking only if you have certain symptoms. Using federal emergency authorities, the FDA approved a new test for the virus. We did this within hours after receiving the application from Roche, a process that would normally take weeks. We therefore expect up to 500,000 additional tests will be available early next week. We'll be announcing locations probably on Sunday night. I want to thank Roche, great company, for their incredible work. I'd also like to thank Thermo Fisher. The FDA's goal is to hopefully authorize the application within 24 hours. It'll go very quickly. It's going very quickly, which will bring additionally 1.4 million tests on board next week and 5 million within a month. I doubt we'll need anywhere near that. At the same time, we've been in discussions with pharmacies and retailers to make drive-through tests available in the critical locations identified by public health professionals. The goal is for individuals to be able to drive up and be swabbed without having to leave.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Google is helping to develop a website. It's going to be very quickly done, unlike websites of the past, to determine whether a test is warranted and to facilitate testing at a nearby convenient location. We have many, many locations behind us, by the way. We cover this country and large parts of the world, by the way. We're not going to be talking about the world right now, but we cover very, very strongly our country. Stores in virtually every location. Google has 1,700 engineers working on this right now. They've made tremendous progress. Our overriding goal is to stop the spread of the virus and to help all Americans who have been impacted by this.
Through Google.
And we don't want everybody taking this test. It's totally unnecessary. And this will pass. This will pass through, and we're going to be even stronger for it. We've learned a lot. Tremendous amount has been learned. I want to thank Deborah Birx, and I want to ask her maybe to come up and say a few words as to what's happening. Dr. Birx is a highly respected person I've gotten to know very well over the last 6 days. And what we've done is rebuilt something that was very old-fashioned, somewhat obsolete, certainly obsolete when it comes to the kind of numbers that we're talking about. Dr. Birx, please. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I think you know at the beginning of this epidemic, HHS or CDC proactively developed an assay built on the existing flu surveillance system. That surveillance system was then converted to diagnostic system. But last Tuesday, seeing the spread of the virus around the globe, the President realized that our current approach to testing was inadequate to meet the needs of the American public. He asked for an entire overhaul of the testing approach. He immediately called the private sector laboratories to the White House, as noted, and charged them with developing a high-throughput quality platform that could meet the needs of the American public. We are grateful to LabCorp and Quest for taking up the charge immediately after the meeting, and within 72 hours, bringing additional testing access, particularly to the outbreak areas of Washington State and California, and now across the country. We are also very grateful to the universities and large hospital systems that took up the charge to develop their own quality tests, made available by new FDA guidance. This has resulted in expanded testing across New York, California, Washington, Colorado, and you see sometimes those drive-through options that have been made available through these high-throughput options. Following the meeting last week, major commercial laboratory equipment and diagnostic companies took immediate action to adopt and develop new testing systems. Last night, the initial company, Roche, received FDA approval, moving from request to development to approval in record time. This innovative approach centered fully on unleashing the power of the private sector, focusing on providing convenient testing to hundreds of thousands of Americans within short turnaround times. In less than 2 weeks together, we have developed a solution that we believe will meet the future testing needs of Americans. I understand how difficult this has been. I was part of the HIV/AIDS response in the 80s. We knew from first finding cases in 1981, it took us to almost 1985 to have a test. It took us another 11 years to have effective therapy. It is because of the lessons learned from that we were able to mobilize and bring those individuals that were key to the HIV response to this response. I understand that a lot of this behind-the-scenes action over the last couple of weeks was invisible to the press and the American people. But this intense effort has not only resulted in innovative solutions, but an automated high-throughput system bringing the availability of these quality coronavirus testing to the American people at unprecedented speed. Finally, I want you to know in South Korea, they did have a large number of tests available over the last several weeks. Their positivity rate is between 3 and 4%. With LabCorp and Quest expanded testing, their positivity rate is between 1 and 2%. So we want to also announce this new approach to testing, which will start in the screening website up here, facilitated by Google, where clients and patients and people of interest can go, fill out a screening questionnaire, move down for symptoms or risk factors, yes. They would move down this and be told where the drive-through options would be for them to receive this test. The labs will then move to the high-throughput automated machines to be able to provide results in 24 to 36 hours.
When you say roadside DNA testing, or is it just me?
United States, and we want to bring this across the continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to maybe have Tony, do you want to come up? You become I think everybody out here knows you pretty well, but Tony's been doing
What do you think about the drive-by testing, too?
long hours, and you've seen a lot.
I think that President Trump looks like a hostage.
Great experience, and working with you has been terrific. Tony, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Another example of what I've been referring to in my discussions with many of you in the audience as a proactive, forward, aggressive, trying to stay ahead of the curve. And what you see now with this order is that we're going to be able to remove the constraints so that people at the state, the local level, the individual physician, all the way up through the federal government will have as many constraints as possible removed for them to do everything they possibly can so that we can implement the things that we've been talking about. The containment, the mitigation, so that, as I've said many times, that curve that I referred to.
Good question, Francois. What are they really hiding?
We want to suppress it down to that small mound. And I think what we've done today is something that is going to be a very important element in having us be successful in doing that. We still have a long way to go. There will be many more cases, but we'll take care of that. And ultimately, as the president said, this will end. But what's going on here today is going to help it to end sooner than it would have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I could, some of these folks, we know, they're celebrities in their own right. They're the biggest business people, the greatest retailers anywhere in the world. And one of them is Doug McMillan from Walmart. And I'd like to have Doug, if you would, say a few words, wherever you may be. Good, Doug, please.
When we got the call yesterday from the White House, we were eager to do our part. Given what we're facing, that's certainly important to do. We should all be doing that. So we've been asked to make portions of our parking lot available in select locations at the beginning and scaling over time as supply increases.
How you doing?
So that people can experience the drive-through experience that the president described. We'll stay involved and do everything we can from a supply chain point of view to be of assistance. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Walmart.
That is interesting how they do that.
Richard, please. Walgreens, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. And similar to Doug and Walmart, we're happy to stand in here and help in communities all across America, because a lot of times when we have natural disasters, our stores
I got some insider information on Walmart.
Different. So we look forward to partnering with the CDC, the administration, HHS, and the task force, and specifically to the vice president's doing such a fantastic job. We're ready to engage and help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you very much.
What's the matter, Scott? You don't want to do the roadside DNA testing?
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, please.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for inviting us here today, along with our colleagues from Walmart and Walgreens and our partners at CVS.
Yeah, imagine that. Walmart testing.
Today,
one of the
we're
closest
focused on
ones to China, and they're going to be doing testing.
The spread of the coronavirus. And we look forward to working with the administration to do our fair share to alleviate this growing threat. So thank you for including us today. In the near term, we're all committed to making sure
my fair share.
we keep our stores open to serve the American consumer who's rapidly stocking up on household essentials, key food and beverage items that they need during this time, making sure we run safe stores and create an environment that's safe for our team members, making sure that they feel supported during this very critical time. So thank you.
Imagine that, Jeff. An open mind is a dangerous place to be. We kind of threw some of the surface stuff.
Thank you, Mr. President. As CEO of Becton Dickinson, we're one of the leading providers of medical devices as well as collection products for testing of coronavirus. We're ramping up our manufacturing capacity to ensure that the right collection devices and testing equipment are ready to address this issue. Thank you, Mr. President.
Very much, Richard. Stephen Rakowski, Quest Diagnostics, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President. So as mentioned, we were called by the leadership of the Vice President last week to come together as an industry. And we took advantage of that opportunity to work with the FDA, to work with the Center for Disease Control. And we are up and running with tests in a number of our facilities.
Video doesn't line up to the audio at all. It's not even worth watching it. You just listen to it.
Diagnostics that we will bring into our facilities this weekend. And I know myself,
can you still hear it?
My colleague at LabCorp will be doing the same. So the capacity available to the public to support this action with consumers will be considerably increased in the next few weeks. Thank you, Mr. President.
I appreciate it. Thanks. And Matt Sauce, please, of Roche. Matt, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. President. So from Roche, we want to thank the FDA for their rapid approval of our coronavirus test. We really appreciate the partnership with the CDC and the FDA to get that to market as fast as possible, because it's critical for us to make that available to help patients in need.
Walmart has been
with laboratories
taking over that
going in the near future, which will bring hundreds of thousands of tests available to patients in need in the United States.
So to speak.
We can do it. you can do it. Great company. David Pierre of Signify Health, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are the largest house call provider in the U.S., and we go to the homes of the most vulnerable, elderly, and through our network and logistics engine, we stand ready to help and provide our clinicians to be where they're needed, whether they're in retail clinics or in the home, and we're here to assist. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we'll be changing a lot of the rules, regulations for future, should this happen in the future, which we hope it never does, but it will, I guess, somewhere out there. And some bad ones over the years, and I guess that'll continue to an extent, but we hope it never happens. But we're going to be changing a lot of the old
zombie apocalypse is coming. You're right. Just remember, aim for the head.
Adam Schechter, who's really been of tremendous help, LabCorp, please. Adam.
Thank you, Mr.
I
President.
don't know how many people realize these zombie movies are designed to condition us for these type of events. I'm not talking about zombies coming after your brain, talking about people coming after your provisions.
Everything we can to
The
increase the
haves
testing.
get attacked by the have-nots.
I can tell you we understand how important the testing is, and we are committed to doing everything possible.
You missed what he said in the beginning.
Thomas Moriarty, CVS. We all know CVS. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have been focused since the start of making sure our patients and the customers we serve have the information they need, the safety they need as well. We're committed to working with the administration and local public health officials to make this work. And thank you, sir, for the honor.
Thank you very much.
You have the audio up, right, Chief?
Yeah.
And Bruce Greenstein.
Yeah, I got the video dropped anyway, so you can even leave it up there.
Mr. President, thank you for the honor of being here. The home health industry has been treating patients and seniors in the safety and comfort of their own home for decades. We're very proud to be part of the equation for testing in their own home. For Americans that can't get to a test site or live in rural areas far away from a retail establishment, we're here to help, to partner with our hospitals and physicians, as well as the people we have here today that will be doing testing around the country. Thank you.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's good. Also announcing the following emergency executive actions today. To help our students and their families, I've waived interest on all student loans held by federal government agencies, and that will be until further notice. That's a big thing for a lot of students that are left in the middle right now. Many of those schools have been closed. Based on the price of oil, I've also instructed these
followers over there on DVP
at a very good price. Large quantities of crude oil for storage in the U.S. Strategic Reserve. We're going to fill it right up to the top, saving the American taxpayer billions and billions of dollars, helping our oil industry and making us even further toward that wonderful goal which we've achieved, which nobody thought was possible, of energy independence. It puts us in a position that's very strong, and we're buying it at the right price. And that's something that would have not even been possible a week ago. The price of oil went down quite a bit, so we're going to fill it up. This is a good time to fill it up. I'd like to ask Mike Pence to say a few words, please. PP.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is this day should be an inspiration to every American, because thanks to your leadership from early on, not only are we bringing a whole of government approach to confronting the coronavirus, we're bringing an all of America approach. Mr. President, from early on, you took decisive action. You suspended all travel from China. You created travel advisories, South Korea and Italy. We screened all travelers from all airports in both of those countries. And on the unanimous recommendation of your health experts, you, at midnight tonight, will effectively suspend all travel from Europe. And Americans that were returning will be screened and asked to voluntarily participate in a 14-day quarantine. Throughout this process, Mr. President, you put the health of America first, but you brought the best of America to address it. And it's not just at the federal level. As you said, Mr. President, we've been working with states across the country. We issued broad guidelines from CDC for every American. But this week, at your direction, we tailored specific recommendations from CDC for New York, Washington State, California, Massachusetts, and Florida. And we've been in continuous contact, as you said, with governors around the country. Mr. President, you have forged a seamless partnership with every state and every territory in this country to put the health of our nation first. But today, I trust that people around the country that are looking on at this extraordinary public and private partnership to address the issue of testing with particular inspiration. After you tapped me to lead the White House Corona Task Force, Mr. President, you said, this is all hands on deck. And you directed us to immediately reach out to the American business sector, commercial labs, to meet what we knew then would be the need for testing across the spectrum. And today, with this historic public-private partnership, we have laid the foundation to meet that need. For Americans looking on, by this Sunday evening, we'll be able to give specific guidance on when the website will be available. You can go to the website, as the President said. You type in your symptoms and be given direction whether or not a test is indicated. And then at the same website, you'll be directed to one of these incredible companies that are going to give a little bit of their parking lot so that people can come by and do a drive-by test. Mr. President, I want to join you in thanking Walmart, CVS, and Target, and Walgreens. These are companies that are synonymous with communities large and small, where people come together, and now they're going to come together to meet the needs of the American public. These commercial laboratories, LabCorp and Quest and Roche have just done an incredible job stepping forward, and they're going to literally make hundreds of thousands of tests available and being processed with results to patients in the very near future. But it's all a result of you tasking us with bringing together not just government resources, which all state labs can now test across the country. CDC is testing. But you said, Mr. President, that we wanted to bring all the resources of the country together, and that's what this partnership really means. You know, truth is that we have coronavirus cases now in 46 American states. And while the risk of serious illness of the coronavirus remains low, we want to encourage every American to practice common sense, practice good hygiene, go to the CDC's website to see what the guidance is for your community or for the American people broadly. And as the President has said, it's especially important now that we look after senior citizens with chronic underlying health conditions. Last week, the President directed the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services to raise the standards at our nursing homes, increase inspections at our nursing homes. And today we're offering very specific guidance, which Seema Verma will articulate about visitations at nursing homes. It's important to remember that they were there for us when we were growing up, Mr. President. They helped us with our homework. They tucked us in at night. They cheered us on as we pursued education, cheered us on in our careers. And now it's time for us to be there for them and to recognize that seniors with chronic health conditions are the most vulnerable, and Americans can make a difference.
All right, Pete.
So wash your hands, use common sense.
Let's kill this thing, because I got a whole bunch that I could say about it.
Yeah, Mr. President, I know I join you in saying.
Oh, right. Thank you for running that audio for me. For whatever reason, the screen share is stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much that can be said about this whole thing. It just stinks.
I want you to just listen to the first thing that the President said right off the bat. Right off the bat. Allow the federal government to suspend laws. And then went straight into a sentence about telehealth.
Yeah.
He didn't say to suspend laws about telehealth, or there are no laws on telehealth. But he said allow the federal government to suspend laws.
Right.
That's a problem. That is a problem coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't sound real good, does it?
Okay, he pretty much looked like a hostage up there.
There's some problems with this. Yeah, I don't know how they might have actually gotten his back against the wall, but it seems like maybe somebody has. I don't know. But there again, are we really setting up for the sniffles, or is there just something a little bit bigger going on in the background?
No,
like you were saying in your show.
This is something bigger. You don't just say something like that as the president of the United States and glance over it. You don't glance over it.
That's how they do everything, though. That part didn't seem unusual to me.
That's the only thing in
They're
that speech that stuck out to me.
Candidly, though.
That's what stuck out to me.
Well, I've got a couple of things that got my attention. I got a real problem with roadside testing anything when it consists of a cotton swab stuck up your nose into your mucous membranes. To me, that just stinks of a mass DNA testing.
Or they're going to give you the virus.
What would that be about? Yeah, that kind of thing actually crossed my mind too.
Okay,
but I'm thinking about the mass DNA testing.
Are you really going to drive through a Walmart parking lot and let somebody stick a swab of something in your mouth because you don't feel good?
In your nose.
In your nose? One goes in the back of your throat and one goes all the way up your nasal cavity. That's how they test it.
Right. They go into the mucous membranes back into the sinus. Yeah.
So.
But that's also how they get DNA tests.
Of course.
You don't have to use the nose for the DNA. You use the swab in the mouth. Yeah. But what the hell would they need a mass DNA testing for? Are they looking for aliens among us?
I don't know.
And how can they get people so voluntarily to just drive to a place like a Walmart who is pretty much hip and hip with China and, known to be working with FEMA because of their empty buildings? Why the hell would you trust them to do anything?
You don't know what's on that swab.
That's what he just said. He said they could give you the disease on the swab. You wouldn't know it.
That's right. Now, China is
not right.
China is right now threatening the United States. Something you're not going to see in the mainstream media, that they're going to cut off our supply lines because they think that the United States planted this there. By the way. And then the CEO of Walmart gets up there and says that we're going to do everything capable of keeping our stores supplied up. How's that possible when 99.8% of their stuff comes from China? Something's not right, dude. I'm telling you, something's not right.
I can counter his little statement right now, because I have insider information on somebody that handles you might call it shipping and receiving in Walmart. Just happens to be a little birdie I know. And they said that even though the shelves are getting completely emptied, Walmart has decided they will not increase their supply according to the demand. So if they get 100 cases of something and 100 cases goes in 5 minutes, they're not going to order according to what's being sold. They will simply get another 100 cases. They're going to leave all of their ordering numbers exactly where they are. So they're not going to increase to help with the demand. So that's sort of a conniving, backstabbing thing to do too.
I just want to mention a comment. Fuzz Forks said no one can suspend the Constitution. Wrong.
Yeah, that actually can be done under Emergency Powers Act. And Obama actually was the one that signed that into law.
That's right.
Got it active. The Patriot Act itself can suspend. Suspend the Constitution. It can take the control of all produce, all water supplies, all lands, and all property, and it can put it under the control of the federal government.
That's right.
In Emergency Powers Act.
That's right.
Underground bunkers under Walmart. Google it. Yeah. Well, some of the empty Walmarts have actual cells in them. Somebody actually snuck into one of them that they were remodeling, and they got them set up with these FEMA cells. So, I mean, you can put a few people in each cell. It's just crazy. Brett Bart covered it. Thank you, Freebird. Appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention over here. Melody sent me an ice cream. Thank you very much for that. Glad to see I got new faces over here. I'm trying to build my D Live. Yeah, just thank you for posting my posts over there, DM. You rock the joint. Thou shalt not stick a cotton swab up any of my orifices. Thank you. I second that.
Hillbilly John Boy just donated an ice cream.
The streaming speed on the screen anywhere. How are you supposed to adjust streaming speed? I don't know. Melody, I'm not a computer genius. I barely stumble my way around this thing until I find something that accidentally looks like it worked. If you know something about streaming speed over there, that's supposed to be an indicator.
Fuzz Fork said executive orders are not law. Executive orders are not law?
No, they're not. But until
hold on a second. Time out a second. Explain DACA to me. When a president writes an executive order, as long as that president is in office, that executive order can be enacted unless it's undone by another sitting president. So technically, they're laws.
Yeah.
Because the Supreme Court.
The reality is that, yes, they are under the quotes of laws, but they are codes, statutes, amendments, and articles. The only laws in this country are the laws of the Constitution.
Exactly.
Those are the ground-based rules. Yeah.
But but Barack Obama was shot down in court over DACA, saying that he cannot put into place his DACA. The Supreme Court said it. And then he turned around and wrote an executive order which made it a law, and we're in the DACA situation that we're in now.
Right. Dog adopter for life. How you doing? Welcome. Melody, wouldn't it be nice if it was that simple? On YouTube and D Live. Just the rabbit ears, Melody. Yes. Just the rabbit ears. All right. So yeah, we can get into so many of the ways that our republic has gone into the illegal realms of existence, but until the time comes where there has to be a complete reset and the patriots have to refresh the tree of liberty, then nothing about the structure as it is standing right now will change. It's just the way it is. The virus is not the problem. The virus to put NWO something. Jeez, that jumped out of there quick. NWO in play. This is bad. Load your guns. We are at war with our government and the world. It feels that way, doesn't it? California Cricket. California Cricket. How you doing?
Cricket.
He's changing his name as soon as we hang up. California Cricket.
Yeah, you're right. It's the California version.
California Cricket. All right. Well, you know what? We are already at an hour and 10 minutes. We really didn't get to much of the news. We got to a couple of things in California and New York and Florida, but the president's little speech there kind of took the back half.
It's still going.
I think we'll go ahead and. Isn't it really?
Yeah, he's still over there talking.
I'm kind of getting the feeling it's sort of repeating itself. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're probably good for now. Anyway, so we'll be back here again Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern time for DVP News with Pete and Alex at 3 Eastern. All right. So anyway, so thank you to my mods. You guys rock the joint. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Firearm laws have color of law, but no substance under Constitution. Yeah, I understand that, Fuzzport. We get it, but somewhere the Constitution was lost, and the only way it's going to come back is going to be a complete and total reset. And then we need proprietarianism and separatism and all these other things that go along with it. So that will come in time. All right, folks. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. All you guys over here on D Live, thanks for hanging out. Boy, we got up to 11. That's my highest number on D Live. You guys rock the joint. Appreciate you. And over here, thank you guys on YouTube and Facebook. If I had somebody over there, I had it covered up the whole time, but wave at you guys. All right. With that being said, thank you, Pete. You got anything you want to say on the way out the door?
Just be prepared.
High five.
Just be prepared and don't panic. We're a group of very smart people.
20 ounces of water. Right. 20 ounces of water, a box of Twinkies, and 37 cases of toilet paper. Just remember that. That's what we all need to get through the end of the world.
That's it. That's it. And maybe some top ramen.
Awesome. Maybe an extra box of Twinkies. All right. Thank you, man. Y'all stay in the fight.